Oh, yes, folks, good morning, or good day rather. Trust you're doing very well today. In today's sixth edition of Take Elections Seriously, you're invited to join me as together we take a look at rights as they relate to life, liberty, and of course, property. And of course, the absolute need for us to stand up against anyone or any system that would wish to catapult those rights to feather their own nest. If you are having any trouble viewing this, and for that matter, being able to comment live while on Facebook, visit my YouTube page, Eddie or Edward Frederick, and you are sure to view this and any future live program and make your comments, like, follow, and even subscribe. So remember, I have added the YouTube, aspect to my live, so you can always make your comments there. All right. So it's really a pleasure to have whoever is on with me this morning. And this is Take Elections Seriously. A word of caution here, though. Many of the rights that we claim to have and would even stand up for are not grounded in law, but are simply based on a feeling that because we are free, it means we can do what we want, and no one, absolutely no one, should tell us what to do. Once those are tested in a court of law, we will learn the hard way, as all rights and freedoms come with responsibility. The blatant rights that we give up, like the right to a proper healthcare system, proper education, decent standard of living and quality of life, and other rights along those lines, we squander as a matter of course through our poor choices. When elections come around, we make these poor choices. Very, very unfortunate. But be that as it may, I want to say continued gratitude or express continued gratitude and appreciation to the many who have been viewing this particular series, whether live or after the fact. Thank you for your consistent private encouragement. The promise I make to you is that as long as I have the breath of life in me, I shall hunker down to make a difference in our society. Because I know when I die, my epitaph would read, "He lived." All of us as citizens have a right to life, liberty, and property. And these rights ought to be protected. It is only obvious that when the system is not properly managed as currently obtains, these rights could be under serious threat. We no longer have to be invited to imagine what life would be like without rules, laws, or even government. But not poor or ruthless government we're talking about. Over the last 26 years, we have been experiencing the evolutionary chaos that continues to exist as a matter of course under a system run by people who have absolutely no interest in working for and on behalf of developing the standard of living and quality of life for our people. Let us now examine briefly what these rights mean. Life. The right to live without fear of being injured or killed by others. The right to live without being suffocated by a vengeful administration who punishes all opponents. Liberty. The right to be free. The right to believe what you wish, to read what you want, to speak freely, and to travel freely wherever you want to go. Property, the right to own such things as clothes, books, toys, bicycles, cars, homes, land in your own country, businesses and factories, et al. Now, these rights are generally referred to as natural rights and fall under the same category as being free to live as you want. to believe and speak as you wish, as long as you do not infringe on the rights of others in the process. Let us now turn our attention to civic virtue. When you work to help others promote the common welfare, you are showing civic virtue. People with civic virtue, whom we suffer a great shortage of among us, because, come on, very few of us are willing to come out and express our belief in civic virtues, are interested in having the government help all the people, the very few of us. And we are sounding the trumpet daily that government must not be about only the supporters of its party, not gathering all the taxes of the entire nation and distributing benefits therefrom to only supporters of the party in office. That practice should be outrightly rejected, as it goes against the grain of proper governance. Our people should not tolerate that, and presents itself as a great reason to foment unrest among us. Civic virtue ought to be learnt by children in their homes, schools, and even in the churches. Adults would have had the opportunity to reinforce their civic virtue by the teachings of the church and even genuine political leaders, which we suffer a grave shortage of in both quadrants. Our churches, we must remember though, are made up of the people from our society. And when values are as seriously compromised as they are known to be among us all, our church leaders, for the most part, cannot be any different. And some of them don't even realize that the style of leadership where mum's the word that they are portraying is actually shooing people away from their congregations. Young people are not attracted to that because you offer no stimulation to them. So when you think of the common welfare of all, the society really and truly would be a place where civic virtue, people have to select leaders with a consciousness towards civic virtue and not leaders who would be only looking after the welfare and benefit of just a few. I know that you want to restore this type of growth and development and that level of consciousness in Grenada, and therefore would do all in your power to correct any mistakes of the past which may have contributed to the decadence in which we now live, which many of you don't like and do not enjoy. So when the time comes, take elections seriously. Your vote is a vote to put Grenada on track with integrity, law, and order. Thank you for your time today.